Oh, good morning, y'all. It's your boy, the Toothless Wonder. Trying to get the sun out so y'all can see me, I guess. Report live from the Bamboozled Again News Network. It's your boy, Foul Sharpton. Yes, sir. Man, today's topic of discussion. Again, I'll be searching stuff through, well, not searching, but just scrolling through the YouTubeal streets. That's how I find all my information. So a lot of times when I report the news, it's not breaking news. I just find out about it, tell y'all, and then try to give y'all some insight and wisdom there. I've been seeing a whole bunch of stuff about this uh, chase money, endless money glitch. From what I'm gathering, people are, or they're going to the, taking blank checks, writing whatever on it. If you've been banking there for a while, they'll clear it real fast, and they're pulling the money out of their own account, and they're going negative 20, 40 grand. Like these people ain't gonna come and lock you up for it. Here's today's message, right? It's not the actual trap or the contraption that kills the mouse or the rat. It's actually his love and desire for the cheese. You understand me? And I'm thoroughly convinced because I seen a video of Tariq Nasheed in which he was stating after he did the Hidden Colors series or whatever the case may be, highlighting history and true identities of people and lost history and so on and so forth. That he was actually approached by the federales. So he said, if they approach me, I know they've approached other brothers who expound on the truth or truth that's hidden and so on and so forth, right? I am thoroughly convinced with the powers that be's understanding that the average person, or the average American rather, is probably, struggling to some degree. Is probably, grasping for things for fulfillment, but not, uh, but whatever they're going for superficially, title wise, maybe in the opposite sex, just isn't really working. So let's pull another bamboozlement. I don't know how this information got out there. It would have to be, I'm assuming, through some type of social media influencer, scammer, whatever the case may be. Which I find to be odd, considering I can go online and have people show their face and tell you how to break the law. But I'm thoroughly convinced they put this information out there through a third party, some social media influencer. Yeah, go do it. It spreads through the algorithm. And from what I've understood, there were lines, like for Jordans at various Chase banks with people depositing checks they done wrote out to or however they did it in order to pull the money back out of their own account. So they have a paper trail. Now your account's in the negative. Now they'll probably send out some alert through the banking. So now you won't be able to have a bank account. Now you're because they baited you in without any kind of wherewithal. Now you're essentially, for all intents and purposes, locked out of the system. So when this new world order, whatever, finally goes online, we'll let you back in, but you gotta do this, or you gotta work somewhere and get bamboozled again. Like with me personally, like I have a plethora of ways, legal and illegal, which I'm not gonna do to make money, but my spirit ain't in it, or something actually stops. Like, yeah, it seems promising. Oh yeah, this could put me in a better position, or this could help me facilitate another aspect of my master plan. Get up in that there, or just be like, and it's not a mental thing, cause my mind's like geared to how I can make this work and do this and whoop de whoop de whoop. My spirit be like, nah, cuz, and I can't shake that feeling, even though it makes no practical sense. And even if you look into the Bible, yes, we're supposed to operate with practicality, wisdom, I guess a level of, being frugal and what have you. But at the same time, if you look at the scripture, God routinely calls people to do stuff that defies logic. I forgot the one story in which I guess it was wartime, and he actually had I forgot the guy's name, forgive me, but he actually told him to buy some land on the border of a war and then overpay for it during a famine. That makes no sense. But it ended up working out, and he was able to do. You know what I'm saying? So like I've been saying, I'm in this space trying to be led by the spirit. And as far as like anything societal goes, I just can't get with it. So then I'm like mental. I'm like, well, what I'm gonna do then? I've really never known what I'm gonna do. It just always works out not in my time, but in his time, and then it's right on time. Then I'll look back on it and be like, oh, that's what he was doing, or that's what he was teaching me, or that's what skill or attribute was being honed. You see what I'm saying? I've learned, okay, early in my journey, right? Opportunities were few and far between, right? So if there's certain scarcity, right, you tend to be more inclined, well, speaking for myself, you'll tend to be more inclined to, when an opportunity does present itself, you jump at it because you're not used to seeing none. Now, as time has moved forward, I get a plethora of opportunities and say no. From my time, spent the 7 year period off and on, which I lived in Baltimore, in which I could not get a job to save my life. It was perplexing to thine mind. You understand me? Now I get job, don't want it. Because what happened was, not realizing at the time, it was teaching me to be more ingenuitive, more resourceful. Granted, I couldn't really break free and get ahead to where I wanted, but I always had what I needed. Even in this current, season of life I'm in, um, like bills come up, plan for, I gotta do this, woo, woo, but I'm never in jeopardy of missing it. Whether I had a financial resource I didn't know about, an opportunity coming that's aligned with what I'm trying to do, or where my time isn't locked up at a 9 to 5. And granted, you do what you gotta do, you know what I'm saying? But I'm just in this space. I can't do nothing my spirit ain't in. People, place, or thing. I just can't do it. Be wanting to do it, be trying to force myself to do it. And I just can't get with it. One thing about me, uh, I can't do nothing my spirit ain't in. You know what I'm saying? I ain't feeling it. And then it funnels up, I guess, to my brain, and then I start mentally checking out. Like at the last job, it would make all the sense in the world just to turn a blind eye and, stay in my lane and do whatever, whatever. But it was going to put my morals and principles in jeopardy. So the thing that actually makes me great at this particular institution would have been chipped away at, and then I wouldn't have been great no more. But I'm not great for other people. Granted, it can be beneficial. I want to be great for myself, and then, inspire greatness or whatever the case may be. But I never known anybody who aspired to greatness who just went along to get along or didn't take calculated risks. And you do go through a certain level of apprehension, fear, doubt. Courage isn't the absence of fear, it's carrying on in spite of it. And again, in this superficial society we live in, where money is, money's not necessarily scarce, it just costs you more money to do stuff now. Then there's this, desire, or it creates this maybe temptation rather, to do things you typically wouldn't do under normal circumstances to get money, scam, sell drugs, sell body parts, you know what I mean? And we all know eventually it's going to end, but because of, I know this, because of scarcity or the desire to, sustain to a certain degree on a daily basis, it's hard to plan for the future. And I think that's what they're banking on, and that's what they're baiting everyone with, or those who would be more inclined or prone to yield to that particular temptation. You're thinking just about the money, not what's going to happen after you get the money. You see what I'm saying? Just like I used the analogy of, I think 50 Cent, when, he was creating his buzz or whatever the case may be, and he had a plethora of deals, and they were kind of somewhat, I guess, foot in, foot out of the streets, whatever, whatever. And then Tony Yayo says, I turned down $1 million. He's like, what? Man, we doing this and we riding around with guns. Why would you do that? Because it's not conducive to the future. And if I take this opportunity now, it'll actually mess up my future. You see what I'm saying? And I've come to that realization myself. Like, let's say I just take, I don't knock nobody do it. It's just not for me at this point. Like, I would go get an old warehouse job somewhere for, pennies or whatever, had a reoccurring income and direct deposits and so on and so forth. But me being locked in there and how it's going to, and because one of my things, and this is what helped me this is why working at the rehab was so well, because when I work from 3 to 11. So when I wake up, let's say I wake up 10 o'clock, whatever, even though my sleep schedule be kind of like different. Let's say I wake up 10 o'clock. It's not like, first thing I think of, I have to be to work in 5 hours and I'm dreading it. I get off at 11. I'm not wore out after the fact, so I can still do stuff off my phone or depending on my schedule. Like I go to the park and exercise 12 o'clock at night. You see what I'm saying? I can still do all the other stuff I need to do, and the job isn't locking me up from doing it. But that's my thing with you got to deal with the corporate stuff and the various workplace personalities, which I try not to avoid. Not that I can't handle it, I just don't want to fool with it if I ain't got to. Like I had a job at a box company, and it paid pretty decent for the town I was living in. But I'm standing in one spot doing a repetitive motion for 8 hours. I'm like, man. So I would pray all day long, Lord help me, Lord keep me. It's not that I couldn't handle the work. It wasn't mentally stimulating. Like, and the time would just drag. And then after I get off, I'm just I'm like, you know what I'm saying? Then I wake up 10 o'clock in the morning for the same type of shift. And I'm like, oh man, I gotta be working 4 hours. Like, I'm not spending my day like that, not the kid. And granted, I have found different avenues and, opportunities uh, that can financially sustain me. And at the same time, I'm doing it on my own. And like, see, me personally, I don't want to get up first thing in the morning and go to work for somebody else at 9 o'clock. But I'll wake up at 7 o'clock and start my day and do what I want to do with the responsibility you know what I'm saying, that is pertinent to what's going on with me. I might wake up 7. Like now I'm going to get an oil change. Then I'll go to the gym. Then I'll run and do this and do that. You know what I'm saying? And by the time I come back in the house, I done had a productive day, or I got the freedom to go pick my child up or whatever. Granted, I understand everybody not in the same position. But even earlier on in my sobriety journey, I felt the need to kind of attempt to construct a life that's more fulfilling to me, that I can live on my terms, so that I can say no to stuff, because I got my own thing shaking. See, I'm one of these people, I want all the responsibility. So if something go wrong, I can't blame nobody else, because I put my future in their hands or whatever. And I've been through a plethora of situations like that where they do some old wild stuff and the company closed up. You the last one to know. Now you got to figure out what to do. Typically, even with my situation now, I'm in it, but I'm utilizing it to how this can push me forward so I can keep growing and evolving. You see what I'm saying? So I know this video is about, a chase money glitch, but I try, and this one thing, a skill I've learned too, right? How to pull out various life messages in just random life occurrences. You see what I'm saying? So this just highlights to me the desire, or the necessity rather, to not just jump at every opportunity. There's a famous quote, I don't know if you guys will know it, that says, if you drink from every cup of opportunity that's given to you, that's actually how you get poisoned. Only take the opportunities that are conducive to you and that are in alignment with, your morals, principles, values, so on and so forth. Because the last thing you want to do is lose yourself in an attempt to keep up. That's why I think everybody needs a certain semblance of faith, or some type of construct of some type of higher spiritual entity that has your path and steps ordered. You just don't know where you're going at. That's where faith come in at. So I've been in this season of having, or almost being, quote unquote, forced to live by faith. Now I see where the word has now become true. There has been situations where I'm like, oh, it cannot sustain or that, but he has upheld me. You see what I'm saying? And I'm like the transparency, even though I like to believe I got some super duper skills, it's not like I'm walking around like I know everything, or like I'm better than folk. You know what I'm saying? That's never really been the case with me. I'm just more mindful and self-aware of it to a greater degree, to not make sure I'm not operating like that, because pride always comes before the fall. Now, I would guarantee that most of these people, once they got this information, went, did whatever, say, pulled 20 grand out the bank, and then probably did some old frivolous stuff with it. Me personally, if I chose to do that, here's what I'm doing. Casting forward, like, these people gonna lock me up, these people gonna do this, that, and the third. So I probably start an old LLC or something, take the 20 grand, buy some land, I don't know, slap one of them little mini homes on it or whatever the case may be, hide a certain amount of the cash, put a certain amount of cash for a lawyer. You see what I'm saying? So that I can then operate when I know they lock me out the system. These people are going to spend the 20 grand, do probably some more frivolous stuff with it, probably stunt and all that, have nothing, and then go to jail. And then you still got to pay the money back, and they got restitution over it. So then when you do go back to work, it's going to be hard to get a job because now you've committed fraud. So now there ain't no employer going to trust you because you got one of these super duper theft charges. You see what I'm saying? You're damn. This is almost lock people out the system. Which, if they give you or if they extend an opportunity for you to get back in the system because you've done all this, and you can't operate outside the system, then you'll be more inclined to whatever their edict is for you to get back into it. Inform on other people, take a microchip, get housed in one of these concentration camp cities or something. We got here's an epiphany I just came to. Especially nowadays, you have to say no to more stuff you say yeah. And I ain't talking about like in your social life. I'm talking about these social impositions. You hear about this new super duper way to make money or investment. All them Jones be scams. Like the actual America is a legal Ponzi scheme. Just like the Jay Morrison man when he had that Tulsa Black Wall Street real estate fund. That sounded good because he used, in the title, Black Wall Street from Tulsa, Oklahoma, that was burned down. So just the wording of it is going to chime people in to be, inclined to do it. From what I'm understanding, that joint went bankrupt. Now he's under investigation for moving assets from the LLC to him personally and paying himself and doing all this. So ain't nobody getting paid from it. All these folk be bamboozlers. I keep telling y'all that, man. Especially these so-say financial gurus who put on these, tailor suits and all that. And then you got to pay to, if I'm I don't know how it works. But if I'm actually trying to help the people who are struggling, why am I charging you? You know how they say the game is to be sold, not told? I don't believe in that. If I got the game, I'm just give it to you. Why not? Obviously, if the game working for me, I don't need you to pay me to sustain the game. If I'm running the game in and of itself and it's benefit me, I'm going to just drop the knowledge on you. Why not? But these people you always got to, and I get, you got to invest in yourself and do all that, man. But I just don't be trusting. That's why I don't be doing all these lectures and pay for these online courses and all that. Why am I going to pay for an online course when I can go to YouTube University and figure it out on my own? Granted, you should, maybe, you get general information, then you might ask questions in real life. Like I'm starting a plumbing business, I might, ask a plumber or stop in one of their stops and, stuff like that, just gather information. But I'm not paying nobody to teach me nothing at this point, yo. You know what I mean? I said that myself when I was living in Baltimore, where I perceived everybody around me was lying. I said, God, if you want me to know something, you got to teach me. I don't trust nobody around here. Everybody lying. Then it started me on this path of more isolation and just ducking off to myself. I'm in an urban city, but I find an old duck off spot with some benches and some trees and do some push-ups and just get away, detached from all the tomfoolery. You know what I'm saying? So I can empty my cup. So the cup is clear, I can see through it. Because when I step back around these folk, they're going to pour some more murky water in and I can't see through the cup. I know this personally. The more work you do on yourself, genuinely, as far as addressing your issues or maybe traumas from the past or things and come to grips with it, you see everything else clear. It's significantly harder to bamboozle. One, you got to understand, damn near everything is a lie. You are hard pressed to find genuine folk. And I don't mean like they're like angelic or anything like that. Like they are who they portray themselves to be. I'd rather be around a douchebag, right? And this is just generally who he is. At least I know what he's hitting for. Rather than somebody playing some type of role based on who they're around to annex or siphon whatever it is they're trying to get out of. Anybody's genuine isn't really, now everything should be mutually beneficial. However, if I step into a social grouping, my thought isn't, what can I get out these people? If I'm enjoying the folk, and any benefit would just be natural and organic. You know what I'm saying? And then we just move from there. But I don't just like, I think these people can get me where I need to be, so let me cut into them. Let me tell them what I think they want to hear. I'm not doing none of that. For what? No. Because and I've done it before, but now it's just so hard for me to I can't fake the funk. Like I could, I had a job, I could just fake the funk and fake it till I make it, but I can't fake it no more. Nah, I ain't gonna be able to do it. I appreciate you though, man, but I ain't gonna be able to do it. Why not? I don't even know why. I just know I ain't. Holla at you. What you gonna do? I don't know. I'll figure it out like I figured out everything else. Or I'll come to an epiphany thereof. This is amazing, man. And like I said, man, every day it's just more bamboozlements. And they're coming off the assembly line with these fake arguments on these frivolous arguments online, the 50, 100 and 0% online arguments about dating. We're arguing about stuff we shouldn't even be doing. How about we just make the shit work if that's what we want? But ain't nobody really trying to make it work. They're trying to get out of they're trying to get into something, get the max benefit while they themselves do the bare minimum. That's essentially what quote unquote dating has become. Did your grandma and them had that argument? No. 50-50 or 100%. Did your grandma and your grandparents had that argument? No. Granted, society was different, inflation was different, so on and so forth. But they did whatever they had to do to make it work for the greater goal and ideal. You see what I'm saying? Everyone's so selfish and individualistic now. If I can't get nothing out of it, I ain't finna put nothing into it. Now, I will do this. I will put if it has a greater goal and objective, I have no problem giving my all to it. Because I'm looking at the big picture. Nobody looks at everything is so selfish and self-absorbed now. Nobody does that. Nobody, not about, abuse and super duper stuff, but, let's say a relationship, right? There are going to be ups and downs. But if both people are generally in it for the sake of the kids, lineage, dynasty, legacy, we're going to get past this. Especially if we love each other, we got every incentive to do so. You know what I know? I'd be doing these top and I just go way left field, right? It's amazing how good things have gotten a bad label. Like love, right? Love, if you just bring love up or go on social media, love, I don't want no love. How you don't want love? That's good. It's not that you don't want love. It's that we place we're getting a bad name on love, or we put another description on love that it's not designed to have. Oh, well, I had some bad experience with women, so I don't want no love now. Well, one, it wasn't really love, it was lust, or it was codependency, or you wanted somebody to fix in you what you desire not to fix in yourself, and then when it don't work, then you say F love. But you don't say F lust. You don't hear nobody saying that. Fuck lust. I want love. Nobody says that. Everybody say, oh, I don't want friends. I don't want friends. But in all the friendships you had, you was trying to use everybody. So now you don't want friends, but you yourself were a user, or you yourself was never a good friend. No, that don't work like that, cuz. Boy, they done bamboozled us, boy. It's like I said, man, it's almost like living on an alien planet where or the Twilight Zone don't not make no sense. Not there, nothing. I'm trying to told you. But that's all I got for y'all, man. Just coming with a little. You know what I'm saying? And on that note, I'm gonna holler at y'all. Ooh, ah.